Welcome to Animal Atlas. Come with us around the globe and explore the animal world and its jungle animals and desert creatures. We'll meet wildlife on the savannah and see our underwater friends. And animals from the Arctic Circle. Anywhere, everywhere animals live. It's always an adventure. Today on Animal Atlas, we're going to talk about mammals. Mammals are animals, and in fact, they're the ones we're probably most immediately familiar with. Here's some mammal faces. Any look familiar? Whew! Seems like just about all animals are mammals, but they're not. Here's a familiar animal. The frog isn't a mammal. It's an amphibian. What about the tarantula? No way. Spiders are arthropods, not mammals. And snakes? Nope, they're reptiles. Just like turtles and tortoises. And alligators and lizards of all shapes and sizes. Insects aren't mammals, of course. And neither are our feathered friends, the birds. Whether birds who fly, or birds who swim, or birds who just walk along at a leisurely gait. Fish are animals, but they're not mammals. Clearly, though, there are lots of mammals. They make up only a part of the animal world. What's an animal exactly? An animal is a living thing that's not a plant. Animals can eat plants or other animals, or both. Mammals are a kind of animal with very specific characteristics. Mammals are warm-blooded or endothermic, unlike cold-blooded reptiles. Warm-blooded doesn't mean either cuddly or close to breaking into a sweat. It means that the animal's body temperature stays the same no matter how hot or cold its surroundings get. There's a good reason why reptiles are serious sunbaskers. Being ectothermic, they can't regulate their body temperature directly. So time in the warmth of the sun is a reptile's necessary pleasure. This isn't to say that many mammals aren't sun worshippers, as this ring-tailed lemur would tell you. Next, almost all mammals have fur or hair on their bodies. Some have distinctively long hair, like the orangutan, or the bison, or the lion. Some mammals have sleek and distinguished coats, like the jaguar, or the otter, or the okapi, while some have bushy coats, like the badger, or the black bear. And some have hair or fur that, well, is positively dramatic. There are some mammals who look naked, but if you look closely, they do have hair, sparse as it may be. Then there are mammals like the beluga whale and the dolphin, where the only hair that remains on their sleek bodies is the residual of a mammalian mustache. But dolphins are mammals. And like all mammals, they breathe oxygen and they need to go to the water's surface to take a breath. Fish don't have to do that. All the oxygen they need is extracted from the water through their gills. It might be safe to say that some fish have never ventured up to the water's surface. Hey, when you've got everything you need in the depths of the ocean, why bother? But then, of course, most fish are cold-blooded and have scales instead of fur or hair, so they're way out of the running for the title of mammal. Let's take a look again at the dolphin. Yes, it might be easy to mistake this warm-blooded, seemingly hairless animal for a fish, especially since it doesn't breathe through its bottlenose. Okay, we're used to mammals who have noses and nostrils for breathing. But breathing through noses is not a requirement for mammals. Whales and dolphins have a single nostril called a blowhole on the top of their heads for breathing oxygen, and these work just fine. Snouts in dolphin and whale world are devoted to all those wonderful teeth and those impressive tongues. Yes, birds breathe air, but they have feathers, not fur or hair. Reptiles breathe air, but they are cold-blooded, and like fish, have scales. Amphibians breathe air, but they, like fish and reptiles, are cold-blooded. All right, then what's the one thing that's unique to mammals? Drum roll, please. Mammary glands. Mammal mothers are the only animals that feed their babies with milk from glands outside their bodies. Come across an animal with a backbone nursing from its mother? It's a mammal. Mammary glands, which resemble specialized sweat glands, form in the female mammal's skin and grow into 2 milk lines on each side of the abdomen. In hoofed animals, like the cow or the giraffe, milk teats are near the hind legs. In primates, and this includes us humans, milk teats are on the chest. Why the difference? In all probability, this was an adaptation to the tree-dwelling life. Climbing with infants necessitated being able to hang on to the little baby while on the way up. Ground dwellers don't have to worry about a long fall from a tall tree. When we come back to Animal Atlas, we'll learn some more secrets from the lives of mammals. But first, let's see if you can guess this animal fact. What mammal is the most widely distributed on the planet? A. Squirrels. B. Cows. C. Man. Or D. Goats. The answer coming up when we return to Animal Atlas. We're back. Did you guess the right answer to our question? What mammal is the most widely distributed on the planet? The answer is C, man. Yes, we have managed to insinuate ourselves almost everywhere on the planet. Second to us is the house mouse, who has managed to travel with us wherever we go. Though mammals might just be the most familiar animals, they certainly aren't the most numerous. There are only about 4,700 types of mammals, while there's more than 1 million types of insects. But indeed, mammals do have the distinction of having the biggest and tallest land animals alive today included among them. Mammals began to evolve around 220 million years ago, and the first mammals were probably not much bigger than the forepaw of this little squirrel monkey. Those were the days when dinosaurs walked the earth, and these little creatures were probably able to survive because, being warm-blooded, they could hunt at night, when the cold-blooded monsters weren't active. It would take a long time to list all living placental mammals, but happily, they can be broken down into 19 groups. Each group is called an order. Some orders contain hundreds of species, while others have only one. Let's look at some of the more recognizable orders of mammals. We might as well start with a bang. Carnivores. Carnivores are meat eaters, and most are meat-eating land animals, with some obvious exceptions. Carnivores tend to be medium-sized animals with great senses, such as eyesight, hearing, and a sense of smell, which aids them in hunting prey animals. Carnivores number around 260 species, including foxes, wolves, cats, big and small, and bears. Yes, a number of bears are omnivores like we humans are and enjoy meat as well as fruit and vegetables. But all bears have a carnivore's distinctive teeth, sharp ones for grasping an animal's flesh and slicing it into ribbons. Animals in order Rodentia are distinguished by their teeth as well. But rodent teeth are made for gnawing, not slashing. Not all mammals have or need teeth. The word edentata in order Edentata means without teeth. All these toothless or almost toothless animals are found only in the Americas, like the armadillo or the giant anteater. Marsupials, like the wallaby and the kangaroo, are in an order of mammals where most carry their young in a pouch, while those familiar furry animals found in the Lagomorpha order have big ears and a fast reproductive rate. Our friend the whale and the dolphin are members of the cetacean order, of which there are more than 80 species. Cetaceans live in the water, of course, and breathe through a blowhole. What about elephants? They have an order all to themselves. There are only 2 species alive today in order Proboscidea: the Indian elephant and the African elephant. These behemoths are related to the mammoth, who went the way of the dinosaur. But these long-trunked mammals are managing to stay just ahead of extinction. We've seen water-living mammals who eat meat in the form of fish, but what about water-dwelling mammals who are vegetation eaters? Look no further than order Sirenia, and among them, the gentle manatee. We know that birds fly. Well, most of them. How about flying mammals? Welcome to order Chiroptera, the land of the only mammals who can fly. Bats. Amazing as it might seem, there are well over 1,000 species of bats, meaning bats make up a full 20% of all the mammals. Order Artiodactyla is a large and diverse group of mammals made up of hoofed animals with an even number of toes. In this group are giraffes, pigs, camels, and llamas. And let's not forget the peccaries, or the hippopotamus, antelope, and sheep, cattle, from beef cattle to dairy cows. And every kind of deer you can think of are running around on an even number of toes. Order Perissodactyla, by contrast, contains all the hoofed mammals with an odd number of toes. Where there are more than 220 species of artiodactyls, there's only 18 species of perissodactyls. But they are an impressive lot. The great rhino is 3-toed, while zebras and horses are 1-toed and proud of it. There are several more orders, but it seems like I'm missing an important one. What could it be? You there, any ideas? Primates, of course. Primates are large-brained mammals with grasping hands and flat nails rather than claws. Most of the 650 or so species tend to have long limbs and flexible fingers and toes. They also have wide, forward-facing eyes that seem to radiate with great intelligence. Or at least an intelligence we can immediately recognize. Many are arboreal, or live in trees. Who's a primate? We are. And so are you, orangutan. Along with the other great apes. And the smaller apes. And monkeys, of course. And lemurs. When we come back to Animal Atlas, we'll talk generalities in the mammal world. But first, let's see if you can guess this next animal fact. Which is the longest-lived mammal? A. Asian elephant. B. Man. C. Tortoise. Or D. Giraffe. Don't go away. The answer coming up right after this on Animal Atlas. We're back. Did you guess the right answer to our question? Which is the longest-lived mammal? The answer is B. Man. Yes, though one Asian elephant lived to age 78, we humans often live much longer. A giraffe's lifespan in the wild is only about 25 years, a brief life in our terms, but a nice long life for a giraffe. Yes, of course, the tortoise, living upwards of 80 years, is longer lived. But a tortoise is a reptile, not a mammal. Ha! Fooled you, didn't we? Who are the record-breaking mammals? We've already met the biggest on land. And the tallest. The cheetah is the fastest mammal, able to run at speeds approaching 70 miles per hour. The armadillo is one of only a few mammals who have reptile-like scales instead of fur. On average, a newborn kangaroo is less than an inch long, while newborn giraffes will stand 6 feet tall and weigh over 100 pounds. Tigers are the only big cats who are striped all over. Our long-lived Asiatic or Indian elephant has the longest gestation period of 22 months, compared to humans and orangutans at 9 months. Or to fluffy lagomorphs at a lightning-fast 31 days. If you've noticed, most mammals have a tail. Yes, so do other animals. Alligators are almost as much tail as they are alligator. And lizards are no slouch in the tail department. And with many fish, of course, it's hard to tell where the fish ends and the tail begins. But mammals make good use of their tails, especially as an insect brush or fly swisher. For many species of mammals, tails are essential for balance, whether in the trees or on the ground. Though many reptiles, from the alligator to the Komodo dragon, lay claim to 4 limbs, most mammals also have 4 limbs. Mammals' limbs are used in a variety of ways, from running to swimming to digging to holding things. Mammals also have a skeleton, unlike some other animals. In fact, a lot of what makes a mammal is under the animal's skin, from bones in their head, from the jaw to the inner ear, to the heart and to the diaphragm that separates the heart and the lungs from the liver, kidney, and stomach, and intestines. But since we don't want to get that personal, let's talk about the incredible mammal senses. The 5 senses: sight, taste, smell, hearing, and touch are things we might take for granted. Though many animals have senses, only the mammals rely on all 5, to a greater or lesser degree, depending on the animal. Mammals with tremendous eyesight? The predators, for one. These big cats need supervision to spot and track their prey, as do wolves and birds of prey. Great vision is also important to prey animals. How else to keep an eye out for approaching danger? Accordingly, some of the biggest eyes are in the skulls of the animals that have the biggest open terrain, like the African savanna grasslands, to surveil. In general, a predator's eyes are forward-facing, while a prey animal's eyes are on the side of its head. The predator has eyes for the chase. The prey has eyes for checking out the scenery and for looking back at what's coming, particularly if it has big teeth. The rhino doesn't have very good eyesight, but who's going to try to sneak up on him? I didn't think so. Good hearing is essential throughout the mammal world. Not only to listen for approaching predators, but also to communicate with other animals. Gibbons have their morning song to define their territory, while lemurs use scent glands to mark theirs, thereby making good use of the sense of smell. Maybe nobody takes the sense of smell more seriously than wild canids, from wolves to foxes to African wild dogs. But bears, too, are completely devoted to the wondrous sense of smell. For bears, the day consists of sniff, sniff, sniff. And for good reason. A polar bear can pick up on the scent of prey more than 10 miles away. Yes, mammals are the animals we may most easily recognize, but there's more to them than meets the eye, or the ear, or the nose. Mammals are wonderfully warm-blooded, furry creatures with a lungful of fresh air. But ultimately, milk makes the mammal, as these babies will tell you. Don't go away. Animal Atlas will be right back. Until next time on Animal Atlas. Once again, we've traveled the globe, from North and South America to Africa and Asia to Australia and every fascinating place in between. We've met all kinds of incredible animals and learned some important facts about their ability to survive and flourish on our planet. And with our help, we'll make sure they're around for a long time to come. Join us next week for another amazing adventure on Animal Atlas.